Welcome to day 9 of your transformation journey. Today we explore the hidden thinking traps that fuel anxiety. These mental patterns are called cognitive distortions. Cognitive behavioral therapy research shows that 90% of anxiety comes from distorted thinking patterns. Dr. Aaron Beck, the father of CBT, first identified these mental traps that keep us stuck in suffering. Dr. David Burns later expanded this work in his groundbreaking book, Feeling Good. Today you'll learn to spot these distortions and free yourself from their grip. Think of cognitive distortions as bugs in your mental software. They're automatic thinking patterns that create unnecessary suffering. The good news is that once you can see them, you can change them. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Let's explore the 10 most common cognitive distortions. The first distortion is all or nothing thinking. This is when you see things in black and white, with no middle ground. Everything is either perfect or a complete disaster. For example, I'm either a complete success or a total failure. Or if I'm not the best, I'm the worst. This thinking pattern creates impossible standards and constant anxiety. Life is actually full of gray areas and middle ground. Most experiences fall somewhere between perfect and terrible. When you recognize all or nothing thinking, look for the gray area. Ask yourself, what's the middle ground here? Practice this now. Think of a recent all or nothing thought you had. The second distortion is mental filtering. This is when you focus only on negative details while ignoring positives. It's like wearing dark sunglasses that filter out all the light. You might receive 9 compliments and 1 criticism. Mental filtering makes you focus only on the criticism. This creates a distorted view of reality that fuels depression and anxiety. The antidote is to actively look for the positives you're filtering out. Make a daily practice of noticing 3 good things that happened. Try this now. What positive things happened today that you might be filtering out? The third distortion is jumping to conclusions. This includes 2 subtypes, mind reading and fortune telling. Mind reading is assuming you know what others are thinking about you. For example, she didn't smile at me, so she must hate me. Fortune telling is predicting negative outcomes without evidence. For example, I'm going to fail this presentation and embarrass myself. Both forms of conclusion jumping create anxiety about things that may not be true. The antidote is to ask, what evidence do I have for this belief? Most of the time you'll find there's little or no evidence. Practice this now. Think of a recent conclusion you jumped to. The fourth distortion is magnification and minimization. Magnification is blowing negative events out of proportion. Minimization is shrinking positive events to seem insignificant. You might magnify a small mistake into a major catastrophe. While minimizing a significant achievement as no big deal. This distortion is like using a funhouse mirror for your thoughts. The antidote is to ask, am I making this bigger or smaller than it really is? Try to see events in their proper proportion. Practice this now. What have you been magnifying or minimizing lately? The fifth distortion is catastrophizing. This is when you imagine the worst possible scenario. Your mind jumps from a small problem to complete disaster. For example, I made a mistake at work, so I'll get fired, lose my house, and end up homeless. Catastrophizing creates intense anxiety about unlikely outcomes. The antidote is to ask, what's the most likely outcome? Usually it's much less dramatic than your anxious mind suggests. Practice this now. What have you been catastrophizing about? The sixth distortion is emotional reasoning. This is believing that your feelings reflect reality. For example, I feel anxious, so I must be in danger. Or I feel like a failure, so I must be a failure. But feelings are not facts. They're just temporary experiences. You can feel anxious and still be safe. You can feel sad and still be loved. The antidote is to remember, feelings are not facts. Practice this now. What feelings have you been treating as facts? The seventh distortion is should statements. These create guilt, pressure, and resentment. Words like should, must, ought to, and have to are red flags. For example, I should be perfect. I must never make mistakes. Should statements create unrealistic expectations and constant pressure. The antidote is to replace should with prefer. Instead of I should be perfect, why try I prefer to do well. Practice this now. What should statements do you use on yourself? The eighth distortion is labeling and mislabeling. Instead of saying I made a mistake, you say I'm stupid. This attacks your entire identity rather than addressing specific behavior. Labeling creates shame and prevents learning from mistakes. The antidote is to separate behavior from identity. Instead of I'm stupid, try I made a mistake and I can learn from it. Practice this now. What harsh labels do you use on yourself? The ninth distortion is personalization. This is taking responsibility for things that aren't your fault. For example, my friend is upset, so I must have done something wrong. Or it's raining on my wedding day because I'm unlucky. Personalization creates unnecessary guilt and anxiety. The antidote is to ask, what evidence do I have that this is my fault? Practice this now. What have you been personalizing lately? The 10th distortion is disqualifying the positive. This is rejecting positive experiences by insisting they don't count. For example, that compliment doesn't count because they were just being nice. This distortion maintains negative beliefs despite contradictory evidence. The antidote is to let positive experiences count. Accept compliments and acknowledge your successes. Practice this now. What positives have you been disqualifying? Now let's practice identifying these patterns in your own thinking. Take a moment to recall a recent anxious thought. Can you identify which distortion might be present? Is it all or nothing thinking? Are you filtering out positives? Are you jumping to conclusions? Are you magnifying or minimizing? Are you catastrophizing? Are you using emotional reasoning? Are you using should statements? Are you labeling yourself harshly? Are you personalizing something that's not your fault? Are you disqualifying the positive? Simply noticing these patterns begins to weaken their power. Awareness is the first step to freedom. Let's practice with some common anxiety scenarios. Scenario 1. You don't get a text back from a friend. Distorted thought, they must be angry at me, I've ruined our friendship. Distortions present. Mind reading, catastrophizing, personalization. Balanced thought, they might be busy, there are many reasons they haven't responded. Scenario 2, you make a mistake at work. Distorted thought, I'm incompetent. I should never make mistakes, I'll get fired. Distortions present. Labeling should statements, catastrophizing. Balanced thought, I made a mistake, everyone makes mistakes, I can learn from this. Scenario 3. You feel anxious before a presentation. Distorted thought. I feel nervous, so I must not be prepared. I'm going to fail. Distortions present emotional reasoning, fortune telling. Balanced thought. Feeling nervous is normal before presentations. I'm prepared and I'll do my best. Practice this now. Apply this analysis to your own anxious thoughts. Let's practice the thought record technique. This is a powerful tool for identifying and challenging distortions. When you notice an anxious thought, write it down. Then ask yourself these questions. What distortions might be present? What evidence supports this thought? What evidence contradicts this thought? What would I tell a friend having this thought? What's a more balanced way to think about this? This process helps you become your own cognitive therapist. Practice this now with a recent anxious thought. Now let's understand why our brains create these distortions. From an evolutionary perspective, it was better to assume danger than to miss it. Our ancestors who worried about every rustling bush were more likely to survive. But in modern life, this negativity bias creates unnecessary anxiety. Your brain is trying to protect you, but it's overprotective. Understanding this helps you have compassion for your anxious mind. You're not broken, you're human. Let's practice the thank you brain technique. When you notice a cognitive distortion, say, "Thank you, brain, for trying to protect me." "I appreciate your concern, but I'm safe right now." "I choose to think more balanced thoughts." This creates a kind relationship with your protective mind. Practice this now with any distortion you've noticed today. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate all negative thoughts. The goal is to think more accurately and compassionately. Some situations genuinely require caution or problem solving. The key is distinguishing between realistic concerns and distorted thinking. Realistic thinking is based on evidence and leads to helpful action. Distorted thinking is based on fear and leads to unnecessary suffering. Practice identifying distortions throughout your day. The more you practice, the more automatic this skill becomes. Eventually, you'll catch distortions as they arise. This gives you the power to choose more balanced thoughts. Tomorrow, we'll learn advanced techniques for challenging and reframing anxious thoughts. If this practice brought you clarity, please like this video, subscribe to join our healing community, and share it with someone who needs this freedom. Share in the comments which cognitive distortion you recognize most in your own thinking. Until we meet again in tomorrow's practice, may you see your thoughts with clarity and compassion. Namaste.